That is true. Thank you very much for the comment, Camila. Actually, it helps us to clarify that difference. So, white supremacy and white power. Any ideas? Or not really?
I don't know how to explain.
You can explain it in Spanish, no problem. If you wish to. If
I'm
not,
gonna
let's
try
try it
to
in
explain
English.
in
Oh,
English.
if not, yeah, let's try it in English. And if you don't know a word, you can ask me. Don't worry about it.
Well, it could be white supremacy. Like there is some, there are some radical groups in United States
Hmm.
in which they have this stuff, the ideal, yes,
Yes. We can say ideology
yes,
or
ideology about, well, uh, it's Nazi ideology, basically
mhm.
about thinking that whites are better and whites are like, how can I say, cuspide.
um they are at the top of the yeah, of the evolutionary scale, if you would talk about it. Yeah, they are at the top, or they are pioneers. You can say also pioneers, pioneros, right?
Mm, yes, yes.
So yeah, right. White supremacy, yes, of course. These are radical groups, right? They have ideologies, they have beliefs. Um, yeah, they think that as long as you're white, you're naturally superior. And yes, of course, when we talk about white supremacy, we talk about radical groups, about organizations, right? Perhaps the most important organization that we know about is the Klan, right? But yeah, we'll talk about the Klan in a moment. White power. Do you know what white power is? Or what is the meaning of this expression? Well, white power is pretty much the chant, right? It's like the slogan or the repetition, something that people that believe in white supremacy and that believe in all these kind of crazy things, yeah, what they chant or what they say. Whenever you are reunited with this kind of people and somebody starts speaking or somebody starts giving a speech to the people, and whenever people agree with them, they just yell white power, right? Question. Oh, well, no. Before the question, well, we know the Klan, right? Well, we don't know it, but we know what that Klan talks about, the Ku Klux Klan, right? Or the KKK, right? Um, the Klan, the Ku Klux Klan, or the KKK. Any information about them? Anything that you know out of the top of your head? Anything that you have read about them?
No.
Oh, right. The Klan is pretty much the father of all white supremacy groups or white supremacist groups. The Ku Klux Klan was founded short after the Civil War, right? Or it was an ideology, it was a way of thinking, because well, we saw last class, or we saw at the beginning of the semester, that the Emancipation Proclamation was a way to equal blacks and whites in the United States, right? And supposedly, well, the North won the Civil War, and everything should be just perfect and dandy and beautiful and flowers and colors, right? However, it was not. The period after the American Civil War is called the Reconstruction, right? And in this part, well, the racism was still present, right? Until they try to do some laws or to perform some changes in the structure of the state to ensure equality, right? When they did that is when the Klan went underground, or they went mm, as a criminal society or as a criminal group, right? Today, one of the most important or one of the most mentioned groups of white supremacy is what they call the Proud Boys. And the Proud Boys, some of them accept that their ideology came from the Klan. So yeah. Um, hmm, let's see. So, taking into account about these groups, my question for you is, so my question is, what do you think about Trump's comments regarding the fact that, or when he said that the violence is in both sides? What do you think about that back in the video? What do you think, or what was your opinion when you heard Trump's speech saying that, well, the violence comes from both parts, it comes from both sides? Nothing?
I think that is trying to underrate the the how can I say a lot of oprimidos.
The oppressed ones.
Okay, so it would be underrate the fact of the thematically oppressed ones.
Mm-hmm. All right. So to underrate the problems that they are suffering, right? Or the inconveniences that they are having through, right? That's what you mean?
Yeah, kind of, but I want to say that the other side has been oppressed for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course. Yes. It's like to try to, yeah, underrate or to deny, right? To deny all the suffering that the other part of the or the other side of the story has suffered for so many years and for so many centuries. That is totally true, Mariana. Um, yes, of course. I mean, he just says, "Oh, violence is everywhere." It's like, I don't know if you heard with these situations that happened in this past year. People saying, well, of course, you know what BLM means, that is Black Lives Matter, right? But on the country or on the counterpart, there were all other people saying that all lives matter, right? And they're trying to make people understand that yes, oh, every life and the life of every citizen matters, right? And yes, it's true. It's true according to the Constitution of the United States, even according to the Constitution of Colombia. We know that life is the most sacred right for everyone, right? However, saying that all lives matter, no matter the color, no matter the religion, no matter the circumstances, no matter the ideologies, that is dangerous. Yeah. It's like when men say, "Oh yeah, women are murdered as same as women, or we are also murdered." I mean, come on, it's not the same thing. Even though, yeah, he's dying, and even though he's being killed, perhaps, Um, yeah, it depends on the circumstances and the situations that are presenting itself or that are presenting themselves with, right? And it's totally it's an interesting point of view to compare it with that. So yeah, when people say all lives matter, yes, but you see, or when you check the videos, when you check social media, those who say that all lives matter are curiously white people. You don't see a black person say all lives matter. Yes, I mean they believe it, but they are fighting because it's their lives who are on the line, right? They always avoid saying, yes, totally, totally, Camila, totally, totally true. Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, you are just generalizing everything and you're putting everything in the same level. And that is not totally right. I mean, even though the situation may be similar, the context and the background and the circumstances that led to one event or to another, that's what changes everything. That's what determines everything pretty much, right? All right, good, interesting. All right, now, well, the video also mentions something about the alt right, right? And they say that the alt right was kind of a movement, right? It was an online movement, but pretty much the ideology or the way of thinking is the same one as the other ones. Finally, I want us to understand this concept as well. Have you have you ever listened or have you ever heard about systemic racism? All lives matter is the white way to victimize themselves and make the problem about them. Yes, totally true. I mean, they are so selfish that they don't think about what is happening besides their own life. And yeah, they say, "Oh, my life matters too because I can be killed." Yes, but you're not in the same risk as a Mexican or a Latino, or in the same risk as an African American to be killed. For example, by the police. That's totally different. Anyhow, systemic racism. Anybody knows anything about this? Or anybody has heard anything about this? Does anybody?
Um, well, I don't know if I'm wrong, but I think that is a form of racism
Mm-hmm.
where are invaded in the laws and the regulation and the organization of the country.
Yes. Yes. This is the theory, right? Of course, it has a lot of evidences, but it's still theory. If we talk um, about how to define a theory, a hypothesis, and all these kind of things. So, when racism is present in the state, now we have to differentiate one thing: state versus government. What is the difference? I think we already talked about it, but yeah, just to make sure. What is the difference between one and the other? Between the state and the government? No ideas? I know that this is not supposed to be English class because differentiating state and government, well, that is social sciences. But you know that we talked about all sciences and about all situations during our classes because, yeah, we're talking about culture and society, not about, I don't know, the culture of some imaginary